This is a transition on Atlantic Television Network. Federal High Court in Abuja has stopped the Central Bank of Nigeria from further releasing monthly financial allocations to the Rivers State government. The court held that the receipt and disbursement of monthly allocations since January this year by Governor Siminalayi Fubara is a constitutional somersault and aberration that must not be allowed to continue. Justice Joyce Abdulhamid, who issued the order on Wednesday, held that the presentation of the 2024 budget by Fubara before a four-member Rivers House of Assembly was an affront to the constitutional provision. Justice Abdulhamid also held that Fubara's action in implementing an unlawful budget marks cross violations of the 1999 Constitution he swore to protect. The judge therefore restrained the CBN, the Accountant General of the Federation, Zenith Bank and Access Bank from further allowing Fubara to access money from their consolidated revenue and federation accounts. Nigeria Civil Aviation Authorities has debunked the reports that the helicopter with registration 5NBQG that crashed in Port Harcourt, Rivers State last week was not airworthy. The Director General of the NACA, Chris Nayomo, in a statement on Wednesday said it was not true that the ill-fated copters was scrapped in 2018 as claims reported making the rounds. Najomo said the media was free to get the details and history of the crashed helicopter from the agency before speculations that the aircraft was no longer fit for flying, adding that aircraft can be tracked not only by their registration mark, but also by their manufacturer serial numbers. ATN recalls that on Thursday, helicopter operated by the East Wing Aviation and engaged by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited crashed at 11:22 a.m. along the waterways in the Rivers State capital. The helicopter reportedly took off from the Port Harcourt military base DNPM with its destination as the FPSO Momin Astan oil rig. A total of 8 persons were confirmed on board, but 4 bodies have been recovered so far. Rivers State Police Command has arrested 3 of its officers for alleged involvement in extortion of motorists in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The 3 female officers, Inspector Sarah Namadi, Inspector Caroline Promise, and Inspector Christiana Jatos, were arrested along the Rumokoro flyover in Obiakpo local government area of the state, where they operated an unauthorized checkpoint. According to reports, the 3 police women have been in the act for a long time. While confirming the arrest in Port Harcourt, the police public relations officer Grace Ringikoko said the commander has been monitoring the women following reports of their activities. She said 2 of them at the point of arrest were not putting on their uniform while on duty, adding that money extorted from motorists was found on them, making a swift response in upholding ethical practice within the Rivers State Police Command. Analysts has tasked judge to stop giving conflicting rulings on the particular case. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, Chizi Nemasila said courts to advise courts to stop confusing the citizens by giving contradictory judgments.
Now, he has called them. Yes, she has called them. I mean, because in the judiciary, they call even the male and the female a man. You know, it's not like he or she. So, however, they have called them to streamline, to tell you, this is where you're supposed to be. This is where it can be giving conflicting. For instance, if a 2 federal high court, I'm using federal high court, they have what they call it, equality right or something, equal right. If a federal court gives judgment here in Zamfara, another federal court, I'm not even talking about state high court, I'm talking about even a federal high court, will not give judgment on that matter again. The only court that has the right to give that judgment will be the Court of Appeal. Then imagine a state high court giving judgment on that, even accepting to sit on that. When today, it's no longer that you're ignorant of judgment. As soon as the judgment is given today, it is on their law report. So you already know. It's not as if that's not what you know. They will bring it to you to say, look, this judgment has been given by a court, and so you cannot stand because you are having. So I think the judge, the chief judge of Nigeria, is doing the right thing.
Meanwhile, Zenze noted that the Nigerian judicial system has been polarized by politicians.
My approach to issues, I don't care who is concerned. Who is concerned, I don't care. Now, in as much as I did not believe in Kekereku as at when she was coming, but on this very matter, I salute her. Because you see that politicians are already polarizing the courts, the judicial system, where we've seen lawyers and judges, you know, to what case, turn things around based on the fatness of the package that is given to them, assumed as we are.
This comes after the Chief Judge of Nigerian Justice Kodirat Kekere Edon summoned justice involved in the conflicting rulings on political cases in Rivers State. Delta State High Court sitting in Otu Jeremi in Ugali South local government area has ordered the remand of Mr. Okimut Kasia in the custody of a Nigerian Correctional Service in Okere, Wari, for allegedly defiling his girlfriend's 2 years old daughter. The court, presided over by Honorable Justice A.A. Onojovio, ordered they remain pending trials based on the evidence available. The suspect was aligned by the police in charge of the alleged defilement. In a statement today, a human rights group Initiative for Social Rights Concern and Advancement stated that the suspect's identity would be withheld from the public until he is either convicted or acquitted by the court. The group expressed gratitude to the Divisional Police Officer, Divisional Crime Officer of the Otu Jeremi Divisions and the Ugali Area Command for their effort in seeking justice for the young victim. 25 suspect internet fraudsters have been arrested at a different location in Benin City, Edo State. The Benin Zonal Directorate of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, confirmed the arrest on Wednesday. The commission stated that the suspects were arrested based on credible intelligence on their alleged involvement in internet-related fraud. The commission further stated that items recovered from them include toxic cars, laptops, and phones. The commission added that they will be charged to court as soon as investigations are concluded. Imo State Police Command has said its operatives successfully repelled an attempted attack allegedly carried out by members of the Eastern Security Network linked to the indigenous people of Biafra, resulting in the death of one suspect. The command spokesperson Henry Okoye shared the details with newsmen while displaying the deceased suspect bodies and recovered items at the command headquarters in Owerri. Okoye noted that the police recovered an AK-47 rifle, 15 rounds of 9.62 mm ammunition, and IPOB ESN flags and the abandoned vehicles. They added that ongoing operations were underway to locate the remaining suspects, including searches of nearby areas. The State Commissioner Aboki Danjuma urged the public to report anyone seeking medical treatment for gunshot wound, emphasizing the command's commitment to public safety. Gunmen has attacked Mbo Amaka village in Mgo or Hakwa LGA of Ebonyi State, killing 48-year-old man Mr. Michael Naji, a native of Amari in Nkwa LGA of the Enugu State, who resided in the area. The State Police Public Relations Officer DSP Joshua Okandu confirmed the incident on Wednesday. Okandu said on getting to the information, On getting the information, he contacted the Okwanu Police Divisional Headquarters, and a team immediately moved to the scene of the incident for investigation. He added that he is yet to be briefed on the details of the incident and assured that the State Police Command will carry out an in-depth investigation into the crimes and ensure that the perpetrators are apprehended and prosecuted. The deceased businessman and a member of the local security in Ngwa community was said to have been shot twice by the hoodlums who invaded his business area at about 9:45 p.m. Tuesday night. The family source who spoke on the condition of anonymity said the hoodlums, numbering 2, operated with their motorcycles and were also masked. People's Democratic Party in Ondo State has alleged that the ruling All Progressives Congress is plotting to use operatives of the Amotekun Corps for the November 16 governorship election in the state. The opposition party, while raising the alarm, stated that the development called for concern following the appointment of the commander of Amotekun Corps, Akogun Adetunji Adeleye, as chairman of the Security Committee of the APC Campaign Council in the state, while describing the situation as a move to deploy Ametokun operatives as talks during the poll. The PDP, in a statement signed by the special advisor on media and publicity to the governorship candidate on the party, Ayo Fadake, vowed to resist the alleged plot. Reacting to the allegation, the ruling party described the allegation as false, stressing that the Ametokun commander was never appointed to any of the committees of the party's campaign council. APC, in a statement by its Director of Media and Publicity, Steve Otaloro, who described the allegation as grave, said the Amotekun Corps is a professional body dedicated to protecting the people, not engaging in politics. Moreover, we don't even have a security committee in the Aida Tuas Campaign Council. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says its operatives has arrested about 4 suspected bank hackers in Abuja. A statement issued by the spokesperson of the anti-graft agency, Dele Oyawale, said they were nabbed for alleged conspiracy, unauthorized access to bank computer system, and fraudulent withdrawal of depositors' funds. He identified the suspect as Chima Anthony Wigwe, alleged leader of bank's hacking syndicate, Mohammed Bello Murd, Effiong Victor Emmanuel, the managing director, Downstone Ultimate Limited, Damina Ali. The EFCC spokesperson said that the suspects were arrested in a sting operation in Abuja following unactionable intelligence. He said the suspects have been allegedly involved in hacking the compromising database of commercial banks, causing fraudulent transfer and withdrawals via different digital platforms. Dele also noted that the suspects would be charged in court upon the conclusion of the investigations. Federal Capital Territory Administration has on October 30, 2024 flagged off the rehabilitation of 10-kilometer Agoma Palace, Radio Nigeria, New Market Road in Gwagwalada Area Council in FCT. In an address for the flag-off ceremony by the Minister of the FCT, Barrister Yesom Wike, said the 3-road segment was to fulfill its promise made to Gwagwarada Area Council during the stakeholders' interactive town hall meeting between the FCT administration and the FCT area councils. Joseph Moses completes the report.
It has always been the prayers of every Nigerian to be blessed with the political leaders that would deliver as they promise in their political campaigns. On the day 8 of FCT Week of Projects flag off, the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Yesom Wike, delivered dividends of democracy to people of Gwagwalada Area Council through rehabilitation of 3 key roads in accordance of their request, announcing that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved provision of potable water for the area council.
We never sat down in the city to decide what we are going to do for you. Is it not correct? We came to a town hall meeting. In course of interaction, you said one of the major problems you have, one was to construct the Paiko Road. Is it not what he said? You said we should do the Old Market Road, the Akuma Palace Road, and Radio Nigeria Road. Is not true? Isn't that what you told us? And we told you, if that is what you want, consider it done. And the good news is this. Gwagwalada, Mr. President, has chosen Gwagwalada Area Council as one of the area councils that are going to supply water to Gwagwalada. There must be water supplied to the entire Gwagwalada Area Council. Are you happy with that? Are you happy with that?
The lawmakers representing FCT and Senate committee members presiding on FCT affairs states the significance of the roads to be rehabilitated to Gwagwalada Area Council.
Because the Aguma Palace from the radio house and the last time I used that road, erosion nearly took the whole community out because of erosion that was there.
What I have even noticed is, even in the area council, you are Mr. Balancing. You are balancing the project. Here in Gwagwalada, the first project that was flagged up was in Paiku, one of the wards. Today you are balancing it with another project right inside the Gwagwalada town.
Once you finish election, party is only vehicle to take you to your destination. We must learn this and learn this very, very well. That our people they don't need party, but what can you offer? Today, the FCT minister has shown capacity. Has he not?
While the chairman of Gwagwalada Area Council and Satellite Town Development Department Coordinator said,
you can see we that are staying in rural areas, our major challenge is the major road. We don't have much road. This road you are flagging up today is the major road in Gwagwalada town. We don't have any other road that is linking from other areas to other areas in Gwagwalada than this very road. In fact, this our market was even about to collapse because of the road. Thank you very much for coming.
Your Excellency may wish to note that the contract was awarded on 24th September 2024 to Mrs. Okmas Nigeria Limited and is expected to be completed within the period of 12 months.
Joseph Moses, ATN News, Abuja.
Now, he has called them. Yes, she has called them. I mean, because in the...
Analysts has advised that every Nigerian should be treated equally. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, political analyst Chizi Yemaselia said that every Nigerian citizen should have a cordial respect for one another irrespective of position occupied. Makurdi Chief Magistrate Court on Wednesday ordered that a 35-year-old man, Paul Genga, be remanded in the correctional facilities for allegedly calling Governor Hissène Alia of Benue State a chronic womanizer on social media. Genga, who lives in Makurdi, was charged with cyber stalking and defamation of character. However, the Chief Magistrate, Mr. Kelvin Mbanongun, did not take the plea of the suspect for want of jurisdiction. Mbanongun adjourned the matter until December 17 for further mention. Earlier, the Prosecution Counsel, Inspector Godwin Otto, told the court that the case was reported at the Anti-Cyber Crimes and Narcotic Unit Makurdi by the NDC to the Governor ASP Ver Iyangatu on October 16, 2024. A prosecutor stated that the suspect was arrested after a police investigation. Otto further said the offense contravened the division of Section 2024 of the Cyber Crimes Act 2015 and 393 of the Penal Code of Benue 2004. Kogi State House of Assembly has decried the rising spate of insecurity in Basa local government area of the state. In a motion of urgent public importance moved on the floor of the House on Wednesday day, lawmakers representing Baza State constituency, Sunday Darko, lamented that several persons have been killed by unknown gunmen in the local government. According to him, Baza local government area was noted for peaceful Abu Unoru Ozia Jebrin explained that the attacks in Baza LGA are getting out of hands, adding that farmers are mostly the target. The Speaker, Kogi State House of Assembly, Aliyu Yusuf, directed the House Committee on Security to carry out a comprehensive investigations using local vigilantes to know the possible cause of killings in Baza LGA. He urged the security agencies in the local government to apprehend the perpetrator of the crime so that they can face the full wrath of the law. Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned hearing in the money laundering case brought against the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to January 21, 2025. At the resumed hearing on Wednesday, counsel to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Kemi Fihero San, said they had 2 witnesses already in court. He said his first application was to formally enter to a plea of not guilty on behalf of the defendant, even in his absence. Finero, in defending his applicant to enter a plea of not guilty for defendant, said the right to plead guilty or not guilty is a right that can be waived by the defendant. Michael Adoyi, who appeared for the defendant, however, kicked against Pinero's assertion, saying that the prosecution's application was weighty, however, said that it might not be possible to deliver the ruling this year. The judge thereafter adjourned to 21st January for ruling on the applications by the EFCC and or arraignment. National Association of Nigerian Students has expressed dismay over the decision of the management of the Federal University of Health Science, Azare, Bauchi State, to impose a compulsory payment of 100,000 on students seeking official accommodation on campus. NAS National President, Comrade Loki Enonefe, in a statement on Wednesday, described the policy as unacceptable and appalling. Monefe noted that NAS is upheld by the compulsory 100,000 naira accommodation fee recently imposed on students by the management of the Federal University of Health Science, Azare. He stated that NAS was aware that only medical and BDS students are those who pay compulsory grappling with rising costs of living and educational expenses. The association therefore called on the management of the Federal University of Health Science, Azare, to immediately reverse its decision and make accommodation optional for students who are not willing to stay on campus at an affordable price. Defense headquarters has refuted claims that the training camp in Niger State has been taken over by terrorists. On Tuesday, the Niger State House of Assembly raised concern alleging that bandits had occupied a military camp in Kontagora local government area and part of Mariga LGA. In a notion of urgent public importance, Abdullah Isa, representing Kontagora 2 state constituency, noted that following the alleged occupant of the military training camp by bandits, over 23 farming communities near the camp have been forced to relocate due to frequent attacks by gunmen. Responding in a statement on Wednesday, the Director of Defense Media Operation, Major General Edward Buba, clarified that while bandit activity is presently in this area, no part of the training camp has been conceded to them. Buba stated that military operations in the area have constrained the terrorists' ability to operate. Buba also highlighted the military's collaboration with the state government to restore peace in the region. You are watching the transition on Atlantic Television Network. You return after this break.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back. This is a transition on Atlantic Television Network, and now the rest of our stories. Senate has confirmed the appointment of all 7 ministerial appointees of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu submitted to the upper chamber last week for accelerated consideration. This follows the screening of the nominees by the upper chamber on Wednesday. The screening exercise was held at the red chamber after it was postponed on Tuesday. The Senate suspended its rules to admit the ministerial nominees. The lawmakers began the Netawe Yelatada, the nominees appointed to replace Beta Idun as the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reductions. The subsequently screening other appointees including Bianca Odumegu Ojoko, nominated as a Minister of State Foreign Affairs; Maigari Dingendi, nominated as a Minister of Labor and Employment; Jumoke Oduwole, nominated as a Minister of Industry, and others. All the nominees were asked questions on how to run their various designated ministries effectively, which they answered to the satisfaction of the senators, who subsequently confirmed the appointment. President Bola Tinubu had last week sacked 5 ministers, reassigned 10 ministers to new ministerial portfolios, and appointed 7 new ministers for Senate confirmation. House of Representatives have resolved to invite the And now to business news. Chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform, Taiwo Oyodele, has assured the 19 northern governors that the proposed tax reform bill will be a win-win for all the tiers of government. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, Oyedele said his committee shared the sentiments expressed by the northern governors regarding the inequality inherent in the current models of derivation as a base for distributing vast revenue. On Monday, at a meeting with traditional rulers and other stakeholders, the northern governors forum rejected the tax reform bills that was forwarded to the National Assembly. The 19 governors said the proposed tax was against the interests of the North and other sub-nationals, especially the proposed amendment to the distribution of value-added tax to the derivation-based models. Responding, Oyedele said these issues in fact affect many states across all geopolitical zones because the current derivation is mainly determined based on where VAT is remitted rather than where goods or services are supplied or consumed. Oyedele said the proposal aims to create a fair system by devising a different form of derivation which takes into account the place of supply or consumption for relevant goods and services, whether they are zero-related, exempt or taxable, or at the standard rate. National Insurance Commission has dismissed the board and management of African Alliance Insurance Company. This was announced by the Commissioner for Insurance, Olusegun Omosheini, on Wednesday during a press briefing at the Commission's Lagos office. ATN recalls that in January, NICONS instructed the board of African Alliance Insurance Place to address the and settle all outstanding claims from customers and to present turnaround plans due to concern over delayed payment to annuitants. Speaking on the briefing, Omoshehin stated that one of the core mandates of the National Insurance Commission as the primary supervisor of the insurance sector is to ensure the integrity and stability of insurance companies and by so doing take all necessary steps in the interest of the public. The appointed interim board and management members include Dr. Hauna Mustafa as chairman, Mr. Jacob Erabo as MD CEO, Mr. Walsu Amos as executive director, Ms. Oremiyi Lodge as Executive Director, Mr. Anthony Achebe as Non-Executive Director, Mr. Alimatu M. Kabeb as Non-Executive Director. Federal Competition and Consumers Protection Commission has sounded the alarm on the cartels manipulating market prices nationwide, inflating costs for goods and services despite government stabilization efforts. Addressing stakeholders during a non-day engagement on exploitative pricing in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, FCCPC Chairman Executive Officer Mr. Tuji Bello revealed that the Commission's investigations into major cities have uncovered troubling practices. In the poultry sector, Bello highlighted how influential players are detecting prices severely impacting small lab producers. He explained that the entire injected substantial capital into the market, ultimately controlling 80 to 90% of the poultry sector. Bello emphasized that this manipulation is why prices remain high despite various governmental support for the poultry industry. Adding that over the past years, year, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security has assisted poultry farmers with broilers, vitamins, food and cash through numerous interventions across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. He also pointed to exploitative pricing in the packaging sector, citing a cartel of 5 dominant players responsible for importing and supplying packaging materials. Federal Competition and Consumers Protection Commission has said the recent service disruption experience in bank, which has prevented customers from accessing their funds, is a violation of customers' rights. FCCPC disclosed this in a statement signed by its Executive Vice Chairman, Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Tajudeen Bello. The FCCPC boss further stated at the time which Nigeria's economy is increasingly cashless, online banking is no longer a mere convenience but a necessity. They noted that interruption that impeded consumers from engaging in the transactions or accessing essential funds are not only an inconvenience, but they may also be a violation of this right. It is disclosed that the Commission is currently reviewing the solutions to determine if consumers' rights to redress are being upheld and if more action is needed to enforce accountability. Still ahead, international tidbits. At least 9 people were injured in Ukraine capital Kyiv during oversized Russian drone attack. Military officials reported on Wednesday that in a western district of Kyiv, drone debris fell into the multi-story residential building, igniting fire in several flats. Damage was also reported to the kindergarten building. This makes the 19th drone attack on the city of 3 million people in October alone. Ukrainian Air Force stated that the Russian military deployed 62 unmanned aerial vehicles against targets in Ukraine. Out of these, 33 were reportedly shot down. Over 10 regions in Ukraine wide contract was lost, while 25 others. The Ukrainian military also utilized electronic means to disrupt the electronics of Russian drone. Russia also reported Ukrainian drone attack. According to the Ministry of Defense, 23 Ukrainian combat drones were shot down over 6 Russian regions. Ukraine has been fending off a Russian invasion for more than 2.5 years with support from Western nations. Both countries frequently conduct drone strikes on each other's territory, targeting infrastructure and strategic locations. Deadly Israeli airstrike on the residential building in Beit Lahiya, northern Gaza, has left at least 93 Palestinians dead, killed or missing, including at least 20 children, the Gaza Health Ministry reports. A U.S. State Department said the incident horrifying, adding to mounting international concern a rising civilian death toll in Gaza. The UN human rights office has also called for transparent investigation, calling it one of the most deadly strikes in recent months. The Gaza Health Ministry stated that rescue crew are working under severe conditions, struggling to reach survivors trapped beneath rubble due to ongoing hostilities. Ismail A. Tawabata, director of Gaza government media office, confirmed the current death toll, which is expected to rise as more bodies are recovered. Israel has not yet commented on the Beit Lahiya strike, and officials have previously questioned Gaza reported casualties figures. The conflict has escalated since Hamas' October 2023 attack on Israel, which resulted in 1,200 Israeli casualties and over 250 hostages taken into Gaza, according to Israel's reports. Retaliatory strike by the Israelis has led to significant loss of lives, with over 43,000 Palestinians reported dead, as well as mass displacement. Democrat Kamala Harris warned tens of thousands of people gathering in Washington at their biggest rally that Republican opponent Donald Trump was seeking unchecked power as their tightening race for the presidency entered its final week. Harris spoke to an outdoor rally estimated by the campaign to number more than 75,000 people at the spot near the White House, where on January 6, 2021. Trump addressed his supporters before they attacked the U.S. Capitol. Harris criticized Donald Trump for sending an armed mob to the U.S. Capitol to overturn his 2020 election laws. She described Trump as unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievances, and seeking unchecked power, highlighting his instability and desire for unchecked power before the November 5 election. More than 53 million Americans have already voted in the election, according to Election Hub at the University of Florida, in a battle that will decide who runs the world's richest and most powerful country for 4 years. Harris was flanked by American flag on stage and surrounded by the blue and white banners that said freedom, with its White House behind her. And now to sports news. Victor Osimhen has confirmed he will not be joining Chelsea during the January transfer window, stating his commitment to remain with Turkish giant until the end of his loan spell. The 25-year-old striker, who was heavily linked with a move to Stamford Bridge during the summer transfer window, made this intention clear as netting his 4th goals for Galatasaray in their 2-1 victory against Besiktas in Monday's Turkish Super League Istanbul derby. There are speculations he could leave the Turkish Super League champion when the transfer window reopens in January. The 25-year-old has, however, said there is no truth he will make Khan Baruch's side in the new year. The Nigerian striker has been in scintillating form since joining the Turkish Super League leaders on loan from Napoli in September, scoring in 3 consecutive league games. Overhead kick against Antalyaspor last weekend upon his return from injury. His latest goal came in 67th minute against Besiktas when the expired headed home Gabriel Saras across to double Galatasaray's led before the visitors pulled one back in stoppage time. Atalanta manager Gian Pesero Gasperini and hopeful Ademola Lookman would not leave the club in January. Lookman was tempted by the move away from the club in the summer following interest from the Ligue 1 champions Paris Saint-Germain. The Wings keeper training for 5 days following interest from PSG. The 27-year-old was later integrated back into Atalanta's squad. Gasperini reckoned keeping Lookman at the club will be a tough task. Nigeria forward Peter Olayinka is now set for the left after undergoing successful surgery for a injury. Olayinka was substituted in Red Star Belgrade's UEFA Champions League clash with AS Mansko last week after sustaining the injury. Red Star Belgrade have now confirmed he went under the knife following the setback. The striker is expected to spend around 6 to 9 months on the sideline. He has scored 2 goals and registered 2 assists in 2 league outings for Red Star Belgrade this season. And now to entertainment news. Popular singer Tiwa Savage has revealed that women make advances towards her more frequently than men. Speaking in an interview, the 44-year-old